So hi, welcome to End Credit Reviews, an episode of After the Credits on End Credit Reviews. It's just me, Tyler, this time from End Credit Reviews, and this is my review on the movie The Aeronauts. Now, I'm not so sure if I'm pronouncing the name right, but anyway, the movie is inspired by true events, so it's not necessarily based off a true story, so of course there's going to be a lot of creative liberties taken, so anyway, the movie is about two people named James, played by Eddie Redmayne, and Amelia, played by Felicity Jones. They're trying to not just break the record for the highest that someone has gone in a hot air balloon, but James is trying to back up his theory that the weather can be predicted. Now, he is not just the scientist on this trip, but Amelia, his partner, is the one who pilots this aircraft, and she is the one who has a backstory that involves tragedy. And I gotta say, the movie was fine, I guess. The movie itself, I'm gonna talk about the things I liked first. So, I did like the sort of aspect ratios and how they played with them. For example, when they were filming scenes on the ground, it was filmed in the traditional widescreen format, but then later on, when they're in the sky and in the hot air balloon, it was more of an Academy aspect ratio, which means it fills up the whole screen. And I thought that was a very interesting visual kind of cue to it, but personally, I kind of wish they would have just kept with the Academy aspect ratio. That's just my opinion on that. But the other thing I would say that I also liked about the movie too was kind of visually how it looked. There's a lot of really beautiful shots of the skyline of London during the 1860s in which the story takes place at. And finally, I do like the chemistry between Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones. The two of them starred together in this movie called The Theory of Everything, and I admit I haven't seen the movie. Sometime I'll maybe get around to watch it in the future, who knows, but yeah, I definitely could tell that these two get along pretty well, at least chemistry-wise. There are definitely some problems I had with the movie. One of them was, of course, the whole thing of it trying to take all these creative liberties with trying to be a little bit interesting and like, oh, climactic, this storm and this climax here, kind of a typical Hollywood-esque three-act structure for a movie that I know is inspired by true events, but I would rather have the more honest, based off a true story sort of movie than the more fabricated version of it. But also what kind of contradicts that is that in much of the middle of the movie, it does kind of become a little bit more grounded, and I feel like the parts in the ground and the flashbacks that feel pretty realistic opposed to the more like big and effects heavy scenes inside the sky sort of contradicted each other. Alright, so this one is going to be more of a personal nitpick, but I'm kind of tired of these movies in this decade where we see two characters, like a man and a woman, that clearly have some sort of interest in one another, and they don't like kiss or even they just hug. I know there's an argument about, oh, not everyone needs to hook up in a movie, but my counter argument to that is, okay, if they're taking all of these Hollywood-esque, moments of, oh, here's this action sequence, or here's this climax here, then you're telling me they couldn't have a little bit of room just for even a cliche like that would have kind of fit it. But then again, this movie does feel like it's kind of antimatter and matter just kind of colliding. It just doesn't mix very well. But overall, I think that The Aeronauts is a pretty interesting movie to look at, and it does start off kind of strong, and it definitely has its moments after the first 10-15 minutes, but overall, it's a movie that I wouldn't necessarily recommend, and maybe if you have Amazon Prime, which is available to watch for free if you have Amazon Prime. As for The Astronauts, I would give it about 2 to 2.5 stars out of 4. So anyway, this is Tyler from End Credit Reviews, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of After the Credits on End Credit Reviews, and I hope to make a lot more in the future. Please like and subscribe.